I grew up in a family full of victims, people who carried their pain like a badge, people who never moved forward because they were still pointing fingers backward, people who thought life happened to them and they were just along for the ride, people who mastered the art of survival but never quite learned how to live. And somewhere deep inside me, even as a kid, I knew I didn't want that life. I didn't want to just exist in a cycle of blame and excuses and barely getting by. I didn't want to spend my whole life waiting for someone to save me or explain themselves or finally do right by me. I wanted more than survival. I wanted freedom. And I made a decision, a hard, holy, soul-rattling decision. I would not be a victim. Not to my family, not to my past, not even to the people who hurt me the most. I was 14 when it all changed. I had just gone to a festival. I remember the lights, the laughter, that feeling of being part of something just for a night. And when I got back home to our apartment, I was still riding that wave. Until I opened the door, everything was gone. The furniture, the dishes, the noise, the energy, the people, gone, except for my bedroom. They left that behind, like a tombstone of what used to be a home. My mom and my sister had packed up, moved out of state, and left me behind without a word. No goodbye, no warning, no plan, just me and my stuff and an empty apartment that felt like a punch in the gut. I cried for days, and when I say cried, I mean guttural sobs that made my chest ache. Cried until my stomach hurt. Cried until the silence started screaming back at me. And then the tears just stopped because I realized no one was coming. No one was going to fix it. No one was going to make it make sense. And in that stillness, I made a vow. I will not be like them. I will not become what broke me. I will not live my life explaining away my pain while doing nothing about it. I will not be a victim. I stayed in that apartment long after they left. Long after I stopped waiting for someone to come back. Long after it stopped feeling like a home. I stayed until the landlord literally boarded up the windows and I couldn't get back in. And even after that, even as I moved from place to place, moment to moment, trying to find my footing again, I held on to that vow like a lifeline. I'm not saying I didn't suffer. I'm not saying I didn't carry wounds. Hell, I still struggle with what I call my mommy never loved me syndrome. Still feel that ache in my chest sometimes when I see, mothers and daughters laughing together in grocery stores. Still wonder, even now, why I wasn't worth staying for. But I never let that pain become my prison. I never let it become my excuse. I didn't blame the world. I didn't point fingers. I didn't say, this is why I can't, or this is who made me this way. I made the choice over and over again to take responsibility for my own healing, to carry my story with pride, not pity, to turn my pain into power and my abandonment into fuel. Because even if no one else ever showed up for me, I decided I would. I would show up for myself. I would build the life I wasn't given. I would become the woman I needed. I would mother my children in ways I was never mothered. I would learn how to love, even if I had to teach myself. And maybe I'm still learning. Maybe there are days I still hear that whisper of doubt. You're too damaged. You're too much. You'll never be enough. But I talk back now. I remind that voice who the hell I am. I am not a victim. I am not a statistic. I am not the product of someone else's choices. I am a survivor. I am a creator. I am a cycle breaker. I am a mother, a leader, a writer, a force. And every time I tell my story, every time I speak truth with a shaky voice and an open heart, I take back more power. I make more space. Not just for me, but for every other soul who has ever been left behind and told, you won't make it without us? Because I did. And I will keep making it. Oh. So if you've ever felt abandoned, if you've ever been written off, left out, underestimated, or unloved, hear me when I say, you don't have to be a victim. You don't have to carry their choices like they're your destiny. You don't have to be like them. You get to choose, and choosing yourself, even when no one else does. That is the most sacred rebellion there is. Like, share, follow, subscribe, and come hang out at www.samanthabushika.com, where healing gets real and transformation isn't just a buzzword. Your story's not over.